Hello.
What's up?
How are you?
I'm doing good, man. How are you holding up?
I'm chilling. I held up this week. I kind of went crazy a little bit this
What you?
week, just like because this is um this is one of the few breaks I have like without school
Yeah.
until like mid August. I'm doing pretty good in the second class right now, so I'm like coasting. So now it's just kind of like now what? Because when this thing happened, when the virus happened in March, I um I had the mindset of like, okay, I'm gonna grind from March to June, and then live it up July and August,
This is what I'm gonna cut up.
and then
The virus
it's
said
not
nah.
even a thing. It stinks, but it's also like a little bit tempting because there are people going out,
Yes.
so it's like it's half and half now. Like it
So
was
you,
better when everything was shut down because I was like, okay, no temptations, no options, just sleep and work. Um, but now it's like I see like you know everybody has FOMO to an extent. So like when you see people like out and about, you're like, oh, like I want to be
does
out, you know?
does everybody have FOMO to an extent though?
Yes, yes, they do.
I don't know, Chief.
I don't like how you analyze. I was looking back in my last episode. I don't like how you analyze me, but I do like it. With the money
Bro,
thing,
what? No.
you were like, because you were like, oh, you have FOMO, and I was like, you're right, but you never have FOMO. You never have FOMO.
Okay, I'm not gonna say I never, but like I don't have FOMO as much as like your average human.
I guess
Just because like the way I look at FOMO as like, those same opportunities will arise again.
those same opportunities will rise again.
So like prime example, like, us being 23 and 24, like it's prime like bar scene, like go out scene. I'm like, I know people that are taking the risk and going out to like these bars, even though they're closed now, but like back when they first like started. And I was like, all right, they're taking the risk, but like I'm gonna sit at home and wait, and I know I'm gonna get these opportunities to go to the bar again. Like it's not gonna be like a thing where I'm never ever gonna be able to go to a bar again in my lifetime.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
but
that's
like
true.
some people just like they were like so excited because they're like, it's a new decade, we finna kill it. The first couple of months they were doing their thing, and then like the virus came and messed everything up. Now they're like, oh, some of my friends are like going out, but like I don't feel like comfortable, but like I have like FOMO, and I'm just like, I don't really be rocking with that vibe.
Mm-hmm. Um,
I have FOMO on weird things. I have FOMO on like I'm gonna miss my opportunity to be like successful type FOMO,
yeah,
like deep FOMO.
yeah. No, I feel that too. Um, there's the quote. I don't know. It's that mindset of like giving up the bar scene. Like, what is it? There's that one quote. I don't really like it, but it's like work hard now so you can live like a king in the future. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
I don't really like that because it's like I'm gonna work hard regardless. Like
right.
I'm not gonna be like I'm a king now. I'm gonna sit back.
Well, I think like the problem is a lot of people don't have a good balance, so they either are workaholics and they work way too hard, or they're
Yeah.
alcoholics and they party way too much.
Yeah.
There's no happy medium.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. Um, I mean, it's a good time to be a workaholic. Um, I feel like right now,
Mm-hmm.
part of me is kind of glad because I kind of got well. Part of me is kind of glad that I'm not like 21 and
Yeah,
like bars now. Like I kind of got
Josh
that,
Pop.
huh?
Josh Pop is struggling. I know he's struggling.
When did he turn? He just turned 21.
June 10th.
June. Dang. Has he like said anything about that part? Just being
Um,
21 and all.
I think for like his birthday, like him and some like those DBU friends he hung out with, like went out to like a restaurant or like drink. But like I'd be looking on his Snapchat and that's like almost every night or every other night he got wine with his dinner or something.
Yeah. Feel that. But what's it going? Yeah, I'm glad I'm not 21. Yeah, for that reason, just like I got that out of my system a little bit. The bar
Nah,
life.
it
No,
ain't
it's
never.
kind of out of
It,
me right now.
it ain't ever gonna be out of your system.
No.
You always trying to look up. Oh, what's the hottest bar in D town?
Um, and like, and it's weird even like when these bars like are 25% or 50%, because everyone's just kind of uncomfortable. Like, it's not like packed. Like the packed bars are the best, but a bar won't be packed for a while. Um,
I was thinking the other day, I was like, man, these cover charges, whenever COVID ends, is going to be outrageous.
yeah, that's true. All right. It's a Shi-Fi podcast, episode 71. Um, Shout out people listening on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. I got Josh in the building. How's your week?
So yesterday at work, I had an incident where this random customer turned in a vehicle to be returned for a rental. And when I went to go like inspect it and clean out, this man left all his items in there. And then I went to the back to lift up like, where they put all their crap. This man put a deadbolt, a lock on it, so I had to cut it. And then when I cut it, this man has so much produce in the back, I was pissed. But other than that, I had
Produce?
so like
Like,
the company that rented it was Fiesta, like the
oh,
grocery store.
yeah.
And so like they had like tortillas, like all these other like items back in there. And it had just been like chilling there. It smelled so nasty. I almost vomited. But other
Wait,
than that,
what was in there?
it was like tortillas. There was like a whole bunch of like sesame seeds. Like there was like a refrigerator back there with stuff. And I was about to vomit. It
Jeez.
smelled awful, man.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's good. Yeah, I mean, not much happening in the world still. I feel like I think people are gonna have some real normalcy when this like baseball starts, NBA kind of gets going.
Because it's kind of like in like week functions. Like next weekend starts baseball season. And the week after that starts basketball. So like we're slowly starting to come back to what is a new normal, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I feel like that's gonna help a lot of people, just to have some sign of normalcy. And I'm not excited. I mean, baseball's gonna be cool. Baseball will actually be kind of cool. I will admit, with 60 games.
It's gonna be more intense every night.
Yeah, that's gonna be so much better. That's not even half of a regular season. That's like 2/5 of a regular season. Like there's gonna be so much more strategies. I wonder if this will like do anything to the ratings or like long term in the future for baseball. Like maybe they'll be like, oh, maybe we should adopt this type of thing. Or do you think it's gonna be like, nope, back to tradition?
I think baseball's stuck in their traditional ways, but I am curious to see like if all of these like divisions are very competitive to the end. You might want to try this again.
Yeah, yeah. So think about it. Like baseball is extremely strategic with pitchers, because the whole 5-man rotation. Are they still isn't it nowadays almost kind of 6-day rotation?
So it's like it could be a 6-person rotation, and then like obviously when they get to the playoffs, they cut it to like 4.
So do you think that it will be like a 4-day, 5-day rotation this year?
I think right now the hitters have the advantage just because like weirdly in baseball they have like pitchers need 5 days of rest like in order to be like fully in sync and fully in rhythm. But, like I don't know how that's going to be possible. Because if you want your number ones to get the most amount of starts in that 60-game thing, you're only going to pitch them every 5 days. They ain't going to get that many starts.
That's what I'm saying. It's gonna be like playoffs.
Yeah.
type of thing.
So you're gonna have a lot of like pitchers pitching on like 3 or 4 days rest, especially like in a crucial game. Like if you need to have it, like to take a division lead, like they're gonna put their ace on the mound.
So will it be as if the season is just resuming, like the schedule wise type of thing? Like is it gonna be July through what? September? No, September.
Yeah, it's a 60-day schedule, 60-game schedule.
Okay, and then playoffs normal in October.
Yep.
It's just no fans.
No fans at all.
Are they gonna be traveling?
Yes.
Are they gonna be taking tests every other week or something? Or
I'm not exactly sure on the baseball policy, but I'm assuming they're just gonna fly on the team planes since like they're not gonna like be going like in the airport.
Yeah, because I've heard like no restriction rules or nothing strict as like basketball.
Well, like Toronto, the players are having to stay in the ballpark facility. Like they've turned their suites into like hotel rooms for their players.
Can they see family or friends type of thing? Or
I can't speak on that. I'm not exactly sure, but I don't assume so because then you're letting the outside world in.
yeah, dang, yeah. So I'm actually kind of intrigued for baseball. Weirdly, just because it's going to be like it's what I want actually, like a short game season.
I was thinking the other day, I was like, I'm intrigued because like we all know there's going to be either a game against like the Rangers, Astros, Yankees, Astros, Dodgers, Astros, where somebody's going to throw at an Astros hitter, and they're going to like charge the mound or something. That everybody's going to come out the dugout and stuff. I'm like, what happens if like one person out there is tested positive and we don't know it, and then the whole roster is tested positive?
I didn't think about that. That's funny. Yeah, those are like the outliers of this whole situation.
Because like Houston's going to get hit at the most. They're going to be thrown at the most this year.
Yeah, I forget about that. Houston's gonna have they're just trying to get through with this season. They don't want to. Are they? I mean, they're still gonna be good, right? Like
they still have Justin Verlander and Zach Greinke and Lance McCullers as a 1-2-3 option, so they should at least still make the playoffs.
But I feel like other teams are less intimidated now.
That Garrett Cole's not on the roster, or that they
the whole scandal. Like, y'all are some bums.
I mean, they're still like, okay, my thing, like, the cheating scandal is absolutely wrong, but like, you can't sit here and deny that they still have a pretty stacked roster.
Yeah, true, but you know what I mean, like the mentality of facing the Astros that got kind of chipped a little bit.
Yeah, of course, because people used to come into like Minute Maid Park in Houston and be like, we have to score first or we're not beating this team. But now it's like, all right, now we're on an even playing field because they got busted, so we can beat them. So, yeah.
Or are they on an even playing field? I don't know. It still happens.
You talking about other teams have more advantages than like the Astros? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, because I feel like what happens to the Astros is kind of what happens with all these teams to an extent. I mean, but that's just life.
Well, it's about their mentality too. So like, if like they like feel bad and like they feel like they're gonna or they feel like they have to overperform to make up for the scandal, then they're not gonna do that great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Have you seen any? Man, I haven't seen all those MLB insiders in a while. Like,
yeah, like
I'm glad I haven't seen Tim Kirkshin, whatever his name is. CC, no. Wasn't it Kurt Schilling? All those. Yeah. It's been nice not seeing those people.
Mark Teixeira, all them boys on.
I just hated seeing those people like in May when they're like, "Oh, this team needs to get in a streak right now." I'm like, dog, there's like 120 games left.
That's how I thought about, like, do you remember the NHL analyst like Barry Melrose? You'd be watching sports.
Oh, yeah.
And Barry would come on. I'd be like, man, get Barry off my screen.
Wait, is man? I totally forget about NHL. Are they still a thing? Are they trying to resume?
They canceled the season.
Really? They just trying to cancel
it. They knew better. They knew we was not watching.
They don't. Nobody cares about them.
It's the summer. We do not care about hockey.
Dang. Man, yeah, it's gonna be weird having NBA now because oh man, that's gonna be such a distraction for me. It sounds heavenly. The schedule. Have you seen it? It's like March Madness for a month, like 2 months, where there's games all day. It's a straight up like AAU tournament of like game at 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, or something like that, and it's like all day. Um, yeah, it's gonna be really distracting but cool. Um, but I don't even know. Well, wait, I was gonna ask, have you seen any the World Series predictions for baseball, or like who are the
Uh,
favorites? Because I have no idea anymore.
I saw Dodgers Yankees like you've been wanting.
Of course, that's like Dodgers Yankees. Is it the same old like for the last 3 years?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, there's no like newbies like really in there. Like, some people have like Milwaukee up there, or just the normal teams: the Astros, the Yankees, the Dodgers, Red Sox,
Okay,
and Philly. The Phillies were up there. I did see Philadelphia.
Phillies. Okay. Um, does it kind of seem like since 2017 that it's kind of been the same type of season, like the same type of favorites?
Yeah, just because like the teams that went over 100 games, you're like, all right, these guys are going to be in the World Series.
Yeah, yeah. Um, especially with the Dodgers. Okay, so what was the World Series last year? Red Sox?
No, it was the Astros and the Nationals. The Nationals won
Oh,
seven.
the Nationals won. That's right. Dang.
Dang, you really don't like baseball. So you forgot who's in the World Series just this
It's
past.
all blurred. Like Nationals, that's such a weird team to win. Um, well, I remember because like Astros were like the heavy favorites, and they
And it
lost.
was like that goofy World Series where no home team won a game.
Oh yes, that's so stupid. Um, so weird. Um, yeah, because what was it? The Astros? No, the
They lost.
Nationals won the first two games in Houston.
Yes,
Dang, that's crazy.
and then the Astros won the next 3 games in Washington,
Oh
and
my
then the Nationals
gosh,
came back to Minute Maid and won the last 2 games.
that's so weird.
We will
Um,
never see another World
how you
Series like
gonna lose 3 straight home World Series games and still win the World Series?
that.
That is hilarious.
That is goofy.
Huh.
They
Um,
literally won the first 2 road games, went home, was like, nah, we don't feel like playing.
um, what's
And
my
those are their first home games in franchise history in a World Series game.
son?
So the first 3 home
They're
games,
0-3.
yes, but
Um,
won the series.
that's so stupid. Um, wait, so the Astros cheating scandal, was that just for the 2017 year or just the whole era?
So they proved that was just 2017, but I can understand the argument of like, well, if they didn't get caught in 2017 till 2020, what makes you think they stopped in 2018 or 20?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just for 2017. I don't know about 2018, 19, but I wouldn't put it past.
Just adding 2 plus 2. Like, it's kind of like
Yeah.
if it works once, it's gonna work again.
Do you think they should have
uh,
got the title script?
I don't know. Those are weird. The whole title stripping thing is kind of just weird because it's like everyone knows. Like you can't just be like, oh, the Dodgers won in 2017 now.
Yeah.
You just can't do that. Because I remember like the first time that happened was like the whole Reggie Bush situation. Like they
Yeah.
stripped him of his Heisman, and like I was a Vince Young fan. Like, oh, Vince Young won the Heisman. I was like, no, he didn't. Like,
Well,
uh,
they actually tried to give Vince the trophy when they stripped it from
really,
Bush. Yeah, when Bush vacated it, excuse me, they tried to give it to Vince, and Vince was like, "I'm not taking this trophy."
really,
Yeah.
it just doesn't feel right. Um,
Also, do you see that USC is now allowing Reggie Bush back, like on campus and stuff, after a decade?
yeah, I saw something about Reggie Bush and USC. I was just kind of like, like, is that still a thing? Like, I didn't know that was like still the suspension and all that happening. Did they just like ban him from USC?
Well, like, yeah, they had like a falling out, and then they were like, "Don't come back on campus." But now they're like, "All right, we accept you."
Yeah, that's weird. And
They're
like,
doing it. They're doing it for recruits because they have been so bad the last like 5 years.
yeah, and it's hard to blame like the players in that situation. Well, especially in college football, because it's like you're still performing. Like you're not taking steroids or anything. You just
Yeah,
your coach. It was your coach's fault. Like,
but I've never understood because like just think about it for a second. If you are piss poor, you are a star running back, and a freaking advisor comes to you and says like, "Hey, we'll pay you $400,000 to go to USC, and you can give it to your family." I'm signing that all day, every day.
yeah, that's
Same
true.
thing like same thing with like the Zion scandal going on right now. Like, I can't blame him. I would sign
Yeah.
that too.
Mm-hmm. It happens everywhere. Yeah.
Like, could you imagine the LeBron money he would have got for going to Ohio State? Like, if LeBron went to Ohio State, how much money he would have
Yeah.
got?
I mean, LeBron was a whole other situation. He was getting paid in high school, like
Yes.
from colleges. I don't even know.
He signed a $90 million deal his senior year of high school, which was
I
the highest.
remember. Go ahead.
Well, no, I just said which was the highest at the time. But continue.
I remember. Bron. He got in trouble his junior year because he bought like a fancy car,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just kind of like, it wasn't like super fancy, which that was Reggie Bush's. I think, yeah, Reggie Bush made that mistake of buying like an extremely, like a Range Rover or something. But yeah, I remember Bron, he bought like a pretty nice car just out of nowhere. And it's just kind of like, where'd
Yeah,
you get that money?
especially when you were living in a one-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, or like when you have all the eyes of the country around you. Yeah, so, man, random thought, but it'd have been wild if LeBron actually went to the NBA after his junior year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he would have been the number one pick
NL2, yeah.
before Yao. It would have been LeBron and then Yao. That's so weird to think
What team?
about.
He would have gone to the Rockets.
Rocky. LeBron and T Mac? Oof. I don't know. Forgot. I don't know. But yeah, that'd have been crazy. Just skipping your senior year and being the number one pick. Like that's crazy. What else? NBA. So this is working. The NBA thing.
The bubble?
Yeah. It's going exactly how I thought it would be. Just like players just being extremely bored, like fishing, and like, have you seen all the Mavericks clips? Like they're just kind of they're goofing around.
Disney Channel.
Yeah, the Mavericks are like that kid around the grown-ups that like everybody knows that kid's about to be like something special,
Mm-hmm.
and they just let him get away with anything. I don't know. I just feel like, but yeah, it's going exactly how I thought. Just like clips surfacing every other day of like this person doing a random thing and snitching. Like that's kind of funny. But what is it? It's weird how people have tested positive even in the bubble. Like
Was Russell Westbrook in the bubble?
no. That Westbrook and Harden were like that was before they entered, but like people in the bubble. So they like test every morning. Wait. Okay, so like to enter the bubble, you have to take 5 tests.
Mm-hmm.
And if you pass them all, you get to enter the bubble. That's the only way. And so everybody entered the bubble, but they have to retake a test every day, just precaution. And the other day, there were 2 players that tested positive in the bubble. How does that happen? And so I'm just kind of like, what's happening? Like, it's just kind of like maybe there was an employee that entered in the bubble really quick, or there's always outliers in the situation.
Well, you saw like that one Kings player. He went to go pick up a pizza, and now he has to self quarantine for 18 days. For 8
Pick up a
days.
pizza.
He's lying. He's trying to do he's trying to do something else.
Did you see that like Kelly Oubre tweet?
Yes.
So happened, and then he followed it, and then Kelly was like, "Never mind, LOL." That's such a weird loophole of like you can go get your own Uber Eats. I feel like they should have a designated employee for that, but NBA, and it's gonna be interesting. Just drama, and it's fun seeing them like interact with each other, like teams.
Mm-hmm.
Just like normal. It's kind of like just a brotherhood type of thing. It's kind of interesting. And JaVale McGee, he's been like vlogging on YouTube. It's kind of interesting. Just they're like in their own hotel rooms, and they wake up, they eat breakfast, they see players, they talk to them. Like it's really intriguing. So, but yeah. You got any things to get off your chest?
I saw that James Harden was getting roasted the other day.
Oh yeah. That was actually funny because James Harden was like, I just thought it looked cool. And that's it. Like it's such a simple thing. And man, like even like the Houston Rockets official Twitter posted that, and like people were like, oh no. Like he's about to get dragged. But James Harden, he doesn't seem like he's not like the super most outspoken player. So I think everyone was very like they knew what was going on. He probably just thought it was cool, and that's exactly what happened. What do you think of that?
I mean, like it's not a big deal either way. I didn't pay much attention to it. I saw your boy Woj got suspended.
Woj? Oh yeah. Is he back yet? He's still not back?
I don't know.
Hey, that's an interesting situation.
So who gonna be our sports reporter now? Who we got? Rachel Nichols.
Well, the sports reporter under Woj, he's this guy named Shams. Have you seen him? Yes. Yes. His name is Shams. Shams. He works for the Athletic. I don't know if you heard of that.
Yes.
There's been like this kind of low key beef between Woj and Shams because they kind of do the same thing, like kind of break the news before anybody else. And was it? So yeah, Shams is the guy now.
You mean to tell me I got to go to a dude that's named after curtains? Is
that a name for curtains?
Shams, yeah.
Only you would know that. Only you would. Shams? Yeah, it's like Shams Serena. Shams. I think he's like Israeli, Iranian type of culture. I think. Yeah, Shams. His last name starts with a C. Sereno, something. But yeah, Woj. Yeah. So, yeah, the whole story. What was the story? Is this like he was like the NBA was trying to come up with creative things, and I don't know why the senator is even in this conversation. Like, who included the senators? He's like put Blue Lives Matter or something, and then Woj said "F you" email. Yeah. Apparently the senator is kind of low key big time. Like he's like a low key like future candidate in like future elections. So I don't. Yeah. So Blue Lives Matter was suspended. I'm kind of surprised they actually suspended him. I don't know. I guess in that situation they had to. You agree with the suspension?
I mean, only because he just used the F bomb. Like, you know what? Come on, Rose. Like, you could have said something else. You could have been like, I disagree, but you go straight for the F bomb, dog.
Yeah, if anything, you can just say unprofessional.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he could have said, "I disagree. Best regards, Woj." Like, but he got in his emotions.
Yeah, he got deep in his bag.
Wait, why? Did you see the email or something?
And he just said F you. Like,
Oh, yeah. I
that,
don't, I don't know if he like said anything else in it,
mm-hmm.
but yeah, pretty. I didn't believe it at first because it sounded like a made up, like one of those fake tweets from
Mm-hmm.
people, and yeah, I was actually like kind of surprised. I was like, wow, he was for real. Um, let's see. Have you heard about these COVID parties?
Yes.
At first, my ignorant self, I was like, okay, they're having a party. It's during COVID, so they're having the COVID party. Okay, cool. But no, they find someone that tests positive for COVID. They throw them in a party, and they just see
Who tests positive?
or not test positive. I was like, that's the most American thing I've ever seen. Oh my goodness. That's the most white trash of I've ever heard. That definitely happens in like Alabama. But what do you think about the COVID parties? Would you participate?
First of all, hell no.
You're not competitive.
I'm competitive. That's just there's a difference between competitive and dumbassery, and that's what that. I'm one of the most competitive humans, but that's just dumbassery right there. If I knew somebody had tested positive and they still wanted to throw a party, I would need them to go check themselves into a psych ward because they're not.
Yeah, I don't get it. Um, I had one of my sister, one of her friends, she tested positive for COVID, and then the next day she gave birth. Yeah.
Did the baby test positive for
No,
COVID?
I don't think so. No, and I don't think is that how that.
I don't know. I was just asking. I don't know how that works either.
Me neither. I didn't. They didn't. She didn't say anything about that, but I thought that was strange.
I just like if it's in her body and the baby's in her body too. Like, wouldn't I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Do babies catch? Yeah, it's just this whole year. I think I learned more about science than like ever. It's just like the medicine part of it. It blew my mind that you could have COVID and not experience symptoms.
Like asymptomatic, yeah.
Yeah, that blew my mind. Because I was like, wait a second. Does that mean we all have the flu low key every year? Like, because we don't experience the symptoms, you know? And my mom was like, kind of like, yeah. And it's like, she's kind of like a doctor. And I was like, kind of like, okay. I didn't know that's how these flus work. Like, I thought it was like, you have the flu, you get sick. Mm-hmm. No, you can have the flu and be perfect fine, but you can spread it to someone that can easily get sick. So did that kind of blow your mind a little bit? I don't know.
I think it just makes me more like hesitant to be around people just because like the whole you don't know what this person has.
Yeah.
Like there's only been like a select number of people that I will see until things get a little bit better.
Yeah. What is it? Yeah, like personally, my boundary right now is just kind of like, yeah, I'll wear a mask. Okay. But like, I think I would do like a 10-person group setting, but I would have to like know those 10 people somewhat and like their lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm open to that. I'm open, like, you gotta live a little, like, but you can do it responsibly. Yeah. So that's what I tell myself. Like, but like, I'm not trying to hang out with someone that I saw on Snapchat has been out the last 3 nights. I'm just like, no.
I think the last time I went to a restaurant was whenever I went to Gringos with you.
Really?
That was like one of the last times. Yeah.
And last Friday, my dad and I went to Mi Cocina, Mexican restaurant,
Oh,
Friday, and like that was the first time my dad had been somewhere since this started. He was like kind of like, I need to do something. I was like, all right. It was. I mean, the restaurants are like 50% capacity now. All the waiters are wearing masks and all that, but
isn't your
um,
isn't your dad's birthday like next weekend?
yeah.
I don't know how. I don't know how I remember that.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I remember people's birthdays. I don't forget.
I forget. I'm glad there's Facebook. Let's see. Wait, do you post on random people? Do you post happy birthdays on Facebook to people?
I used to until like 2019.
Really? Okay. I used to as well.
Now, if I only like really associate with you, like you, I'll reach out, say happy birthday on June 2nd. But like with Richard from college, I ain't reaching out to Richard.
Not Richard Deloney?
Nope. Sorry, Richard.
Oh, man. I wonder what he's doing now. But yeah, I used to be that guy that would post happy birthdays on random people's, even like random people. I'll just post happy birthday. But now no, I'm done. Now it's either I will text that person, or if it's like a cousin, like a long distant cousin or a second cousin I have on Facebook, I'll post on Facebook. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I'm done with those days.
And dog stuff. I ain't going on that vacation to Florida. I am not doing it.
You're not.
I'm not doing it.
I think that's canceled now.
Oh, I mean Austin. Excuse me. Yeah, you're right. Florida is canceled.
Why don't you want to go to Austin?
I ain't doing it. Oh, that's a trap. Nope, I ain't doing it.
It's a trap.
Yep.
I would have.
The $600 lake house.
Oh, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I was just playing with that. Well, I knew I wasn't going, so I'm like, I wanted y'all to experience that lake house.
Rachel would be like, "Oh my God, that's cheap."
Yeah. Yeah. No, she's at limit. But yeah, I don't know. Isn't David and Victoria getting married soon?
Yes.
Is that a thing?
Did they text you for your address?
Yeah.
Yes, that's why. Hey, we made the list.
I was like, hey.
And I'm happy, guys.
Have you heard anything about like how they're doing the wedding, or like when it is, or?
I think it's either in September or October. But now, let me find out. There's like 250 people going. I ain't showing up.
Yes.
I ain't showing up.
Ugh. This is random, but that led me to, remember Brady Dunn?
Oh yeah, he just got married.
My old roommate. He got married, and I was looking at pictures and stuff randomly. I was like, oh wow, there's a lot of people, and yeah, I don't know. It's just like, it's tempting.
Yeah, I saw like Brady really doesn't think this whole like COVID thing and all that stuff. Like he thinks it's kind of like BS. He's just very out there.
Yeah.
But to each their own.
Yeah.
I was in my thinking bag, like my deep thinking bag, the other day at work, and I was like, I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
I was like thinking like some random stuff. I was like, why don't we incorporate like driver's ed in high school? Like I was like in that deep in my thinking bag. Like I was thinking, So like prime example, like towards the end of your freshman year, most people turn 15 their freshman year of high school. But like when you go into like flight school orientation before freshman year, you sign up for driver's ed. That is a cost that you pay throughout the year, whether it's like, 200-300, however many, you pay it throughout the year by payment plan. One of your electives that year is used as driver's ed. And then one of your days, your sophomore year, you go and take your driver's test.
Mm-hmm.
So that way you're getting it while you're in school.
Interesting.
Thoughts?
Yeah, I never really thought of that. I think I'm an exception because I didn't drive till I was 18. But I can see that. I just think, I mean, I don't know.
Because you can
Some
have
people,
like sorry, they got you off, but you can have like these like, driver's ed programs, like do after school programs where you do your login hours, your driving hours with them. Like, I feel like it's just much more convenient. But anyways, go ahead.
I just think because like everyone is different to how they approach driving. Like people will drive at 15 or 18 or 17. But but I can see something like it wouldn't hurt to have like a sophomore year activity. Like, yeah, there's no driving education at all in high schools. But because I knew some people that like when they turned 15, they were very adamant on getting like their permit at least. And I thought that was you. That's
That was me.
crazy.
I
You were
remember
driving at 15?
before my 15th birthday, I was like, Mom and Dad, we have to sign up for driver's ed. Like, I have to get in here when I turn 15.
Man,
Yes.
where were you trying to go? Like, jeez,
Okay, so there's like a backstory.
you wanted that freedom.
I did, but there was like a backstory. So like, I became very passionate about getting my license at 16, like by my 16th birthday around that time, because was it eighth grade? It was eighth grade. I was in middle school, and my parents both used to have to go to the office for work, so I was responsible for getting like myself to school. But we had like carpool, so like either my neighbor would take me or like one of the neighbors would take me. And so one day it was raining, and they forgot to text me when they were leaving because they used to wake up and text me like, "Hey, we're leaving at 8:15, so be outside." It's like I'm walking out to like go meet them because I'm meeting around like the same time we did yesterday. I was like, "Oh, they probably didn't text me because around the same time," and it was raining, and they drove off without me. And I started running. I started running to school in the rain. And then my mom told me, she cussed me out because I called until I was running. She told me to turn my black self around and go inside. And so from that point on, I was like, I don't want to depend on anybody for a ride. So I was like, I have to get my license at 16.
Did they just drive off? Did they see you?
Yes, they just drove off.
Did they see you at least? Like, was it a mean act?
They had to because like the way like where I used to live, the stop sign is right at the corner, and I was like right there, and they just drove off. So here I am in like my fresh fit, just completely soaked.
Did you fight them?
Nah, I still remember what I had on too. I'll never forget that day.
What'd you have on?
I had on that blue and white Hollister shirt with some gray jeans, and then I had some Air Maxes on, white Air Max.
Dang. I guess you had to clean those Air Maxes when you got home.
Yeah, so.
Did those people claim they didn't see you?
Of course.
But you were like, nah, y'all saw me.
Yeah, I was like, you can't miss me.
Dang. That's one of those lifelong grudges.
But yeah, so like at that point, I came home. I was like, I have to get my permit at 15. So like, literally when I turned 15, I started like driver's ed like 2 weeks after that. Did my login hours and then signed up for the test.
Wow. Yeah. I would say my situation is a lot different. I mean, because like guys' insurance under 18 is like really high. Yeah. And so, yeah. And my brother got a lot of tickets. and he was driving at 16 and
So
17.
you had to reap the benefits of
Uh,
what your brother did.
he like ruined it, low key. I mean, yeah, he had,
Was he a speed demon?
yeah, he was speeding. I know a couple of times where I've been in the car and he's been driving 100 miles an hour like it's nothing. Like, um, and yeah, my 8-year-old self, looking at my brother driving 100 miles an hour.
You thought she was in the Need for Speed movie.
Yeah, I was scared. But yeah, so my parents were not gonna put up with that again. Um, I I understand. And also, my dad kind of became a little bit stay at home type of thing, like half retired, half still out there. So, I mean, he would. And also, I turned 18 before my senior year, so I did get to experience 1 year of just driving around, and yeah, I would always be like the 15-year-olds that were driving. I was like, dang, wasn't there like a limit though? Like you couldn't have like one other person in the car or something, or
Yeah, so you only can have one passenger in the car. Did I follow that rule? No.
yeah, that's I feel like that's a thing where like policemen are that's the last thing people are worried about. like, like no police. I bet policemen forget about that all the time. Um, Interesting, but yeah, driver's ed through high school education. I mean, I feel like that's a thing that like could be a cool activity, like on a Friday, your freshman year. Um, yeah, I can see that. That'd be kind of cool. Kind of introducing, giving like an introduction to future bad drivers out there. Maybe having less bad drivers. But I don't know. There is a show on Netflix happening right now, the Zac Efron show. Have you heard about it? The So it's this travel show that is very educational slash foodie, like a lot of food things. And
It sounds like a Magic School Bus type of show.
yeah, I mean, it's a combination. And so I like it because it's like you have all the nerdy people, and then like I know what the strategy was. They have all these nerdy people, and then they just drop Zac Efron with them. Like, the normal, relatable, someone to relate to. Like, yeah, it's been like there was a one clip where like they were driving and like, oh, this is the world's largest blah blah blah, and Zac Efron was like sick, and it was just you got to have like a 20-ish-year-old around nerds, and so, but it's cool because they go to each country and they find something that they're a strength at, and which it's low key like a huge diss to the United States, just because it's like all of these countries are doing the opposite of what we do. Like, they're very self-productive, like, the solar panels, water handling, school education, like, yeah. So has any of that ever intrigued you, like just how other countries do things compared to us?
Yeah, so like I'm fascinated with like Japan culture just because like they're so family oriented. Like they do everything like as a unit. And like here we're just like, nah, if it ain't benefiting me, like screw you. Like I think that's like very fascinating.
Yeah, I love that actually. Like Europe has a little bit twist of that too, just like family, um culture is more in what is it? Like people, like our like I don't know, families are very spread out with us. Like we have random uncles in this state, cousins in this state, but like, in these other countries it's like you see your cousins on a daily basis. You see your other people on a daily basis. I think that's just kind of cool, but I think I had a mind blowing. What are you about to say?
I haven't seen my cousin. My cousin and I are 16 days apart. I haven't seen my cousin since I was like 7, 8. And I just found out he just got shot. So I ain't seen him
What? Where does he live?
in Little Rock.
Oh, dang. Okay. Little Rock is like that?
Yeah, I mean,
I guess.
him and I live 2 different lifestyles. But like, yeah, I found out he got shot the other day. He's in ICU.
Dang. Jeez. Wow. Is he like gonna be alive?
I think so.
What?
I don't know. I don't
Dang.
know. I hope
Is
so.
he like your first cousin?
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like it would boost everybody's, mental health if they like see a lot more of their like family blood a lot more on a daily basis. Um, yeah, kind of keeps you grounded a little bit. But no, I think there was a mind blowing episode I had. Um, it was about Paris, and apparently, this is according to them. I've always kind of heard this though. Filtered water is bad as well.
Okay.
Um,
Like Brita?
I guess like filtered waters in like Aquafina or like just like where you buy from stores and stuff.
Oh, like Ozark and stuff. Okay, gotcha.
But they did say like the best water is the spring water. Like I think Fuji is.
That's
Like,
the bougie water. That's the expensive water.
hey,
Fiji?
that's the good water, spring water. So I don't have any background, but what they were describing was filtered water is almost just like tap water in a way. Tap water is horrible, but like filtered water, apparently, water needs minerals, like needs minerals, and filtered water. I don't have any science background, so this is sounds. Filtered water, water needs minerals, and so when they filter it, they take away these minerals, and so when you drink this filtered water, the water will look for minerals that's already in your body and will snatch it up, which is bad apparently. So drinking the spring water, no, this is serious. But think about it, why is water such a like we like America has very used water for like capitalism. We have water bottles. Water is like, and also in Paris, it's free spring water all over the city. You don't have to pay for water. That's crazy. Like you don't have to pay for Fuji water. Is basically what they're doing. So like they have these stations where everybody refills their bottle and yeah, I was like mind blown because I was like, man, they're just, yeah. My capitalism mind was like, wow. But yeah, so the spring water apparently has all the minerals, and I thought that was kind of cool. So yeah, this show just like what?
You over here turning into Shi-Fi the science guy.
Yeah, exactly. This one school in Peru doesn't. I've heard of this type of school strategy of like no homework and no test, and just experiences and yeah, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. It just shows you how much the United States capitalizes on literally everything, like just basic human nature, like fast food. Like we eat it, but we're not going to be planting any gardens anytime soon. So it's yeah. So it just really showed the how it just made me rethink American values. So it's kind of cool. Should check it out. What's it called? I forgot. I don't know. It's like when you go to Netflix.com, it's gonna be the first thing that pulls up. Let's see. There's this interesting TikTok trend.
No.
that has blown my. It's not a dance. Oh my god! It's not. Everybody dances. Nobody dances on TikTok. That's what you see on Twitter. Okay, I'm triggered. There's this trend that's very interesting. So parents go to kids that are born in the 2000s, and they say, "Wait, let me first ask you." So they ask this 2000s kid, and then they ask people born before the 2000s. The question is, what do you do that signals that you're on the phone? Like, if you're on the phone and somebody comes into the room, but you're like, no, I'm on the phone. Like, what's the hand signal you use? Like, is it like, okay, what I do is like, that phone, like I'm on the phone is that what you do? Is that
I either do that or I just like point to my phone to like let them know that I'm on the phone.
okay? So you do this type of thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
usually I do this. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the twist. So they ask kids that are born in the 2000s, and they don't do that. They do this. Yes. And it makes sense because they grew up with iPhones.
Right.
They never grew up with that like home phone type of thing where like the ear and the mouth, like it's like, yeah, so I don't know. People listening to this, look up this trend. Like, yeah, so that like blew my mind how like kids nowadays do this to signal they're on the phone. And it makes sense though. So did that not blow your mind? Like, it's just like, oh, that's interesting. So that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do from now on. You gotta adapt with the times. Yeah. So, but I like doing this. It's like kind of cool. But yeah, I thought that was really weird. Have you, with your new like work lifestyle, do you still like? Because I know you used to jog and stuff and run. Do you still like do that or?
Every Friday I play tennis. I try to like be active like on the weekend. So like yesterday I went to go play tennis for like 3 hours, and then I either play again like tonight. Or, like I always like find where like I'm about to buy a pull-up bar to stick in my like
Ah.
right, so just I can do stuff at home.
Um. Hmm. Uh. Well, I'm actually picking up jogging, running. It's very
You,
unlike me. I know. No, I'm like.
I used to ask this. I used to ask this man to run. He'd be like, "No, I ain't running."
Well, it's not like anything serious. It's just because I've been inside so much this year. I just need to be out there. So it like knocks out a lot of things, like being in the sun and moving around. Because back in the day, when you run, you just run. Like there's literally no other benefits. And so now it's like benefit of nature, sun. Um, yeah, so I don't do anything crazy. I just run for like 10 minutes. And yeah, so that's been kind of, I ran the last 2 days. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to, I mean, I still do my like push-ups and crunches, but I feel like I just need to move my legs a little bit more. So yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Do you push up and crunches outside?
No. No. It's so hot. And push-ups and crunches outside, like on the concrete? No.
Nah, put a towel.
Oh, no. I can just do that in my room.
Nah, you want to get outside. You just said you want to get outside.
Maybe.
Do your jog for 10 minutes. Have a towel that you use every day. Put it down. Do your thing. Go back inside. More time outside. Bam.
Maybe. I'll think
It could
about
be
it.
in the backyard. It could be in the garage. Just a different spot.
Garage. Well, I was disappointed to know that, because I was going to do this on a track. Because I mean, when I was in high school, I would like go to my local middle school tracks and run, but now they've closed them. Like, I mean, it's been like 5 years since I've like tried. I thought that was very intriguing too, because they're adapting to the times, I think, of just like, the children, kids, we're having this weird era of pedophile thing. So I was like, oh, isn't that not make sense? Middle schools,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
lot of
It's like
people
a
in the
prime
tracks.
spot for them to creep.
Yeah. And so one night I actually went to play basketball on random courts, and I used to always go to this elementary court by my house, and I went over there, and like the playgrounds, the court is all gated, and it had never been like this. And I was like, wow, okay, but it's smart. All that to say, so like I was trying to go to the tracks, and I was like disappointed because I like the tracks. Like, I like to keep track of my time or like my distance because I don't have one of those watches like all those runners. Do you have one of those? Yeah, you do. The runner watches.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't have one of those. So I was like, just gonna run a mile, 4 laps. So I found a trail, and now I'm just gonna run for 10 minutes and just not keep up with my distance and all. I need to, because the trails don't like really say how long this is type of thing. But so yeah, I've been picking up jogging. We'll see if that lasts post COVID.
It ain't.
It won't, but because I'm
Go buy you a cheap tennis. Go play
what?
tennis. Go buy you a cheap tennis racket. Go play some tennis.
No. I actually found a tennis court that we have in Grand Prairie. I was like, oh, this is where it's been. And I was like, this is one of the parks I found. So yeah, I'm ready. Do you think college football is happening? Yes or no?
Not until spring.
Wow. I've heard of those too. That's gonna be so weird. You don't think they would play the conference games only? And
okay, I could see them playing the conference games, but the difference between like college sports and like all the other sports is like their sole energy and passion is behind like having their students at the games.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I don't really know. I just know that. Well, I heard. Well, okay, one second. There's this like weird unrest because football practices should be happening. Right now, right? Is that kind of a thing? And so it's just like no one's really mentioning anything. It's like silence. There's like silence around it. So I'm like, are we doing anything? But I did see that the NFL is like trying to start training camp July 28th. So, because the NFL has not said anything really about how they're going to do things this year. So I've always thought that's kind of weird, like especially with college football. Yeah.
The NFL just said training camp July 28th, right?
Yeah. And so, I mean, that's the first we've heard from them about this situation. And before that, all these big colleges, like people going to those, like students, it's gonna be so weird without like the football culture and yeah, it's gonna be so weird. Wait, has your school UHD said anything about online or like in class?
Yeah, so they just came out. They just came out with a statement this past week, and they were like, "You have 4 options," because I just received how much it's gonna.
You told me about this. Okay.
So, but like they want you to like finalize within like the next few weeks about what you want to do.
What are you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
Are you in between two?
Yeah, at least for the fall semester, I'll either take option, just give me a due date when all my assignments are due, and I'll have them done by that due date, or I'll do a hybrid, which is like, like I'll go to school 1 week with a mask, and then the next week I'll like take online. I'll either choose those options because I really don't feel like zooming with my professor on my off time. I don't feel like doing it.
You don't feel like going over there?
I don't feel like getting on the Zoom conference with like all my class and like having a professor on my off time. Like, nah.
Well, are they not gonna do lecture videos? Like, I know at Tech they record classes and like they put it up on a site just for people that missed the class. Do they have anything like that?
I would much, I would much rather have that. I hope it's like that because then I can just sit there and take my notes, press pause, and do it on my own basis instead of being like, wait, what'd you just say?
Yeah. That's what I've done for a couple of my classes where like the professor's like, here's the lectures. Especially the classes that have been around for years, they just would get last fall's lectures and just give them to us, which is really nice. I just like doing everything on my own time. Like, yeah, it's really cool. But yeah, my 4 classes, one of them, as I already said, is going to be online. The second one came out this week, said, we're still going to do face-to-face. The class is big enough for social distancing, and we're just going to follow campus guidelines. And I was like, man, that's not that's how it goes. So we'll see how the other 2 classes. But
So like you got to go back to Tech next month.
I mean, it's just going to be weird. I don't know yet.
Wait, you said, I think last time I talked to you, or like one of the last times you said you were going to do like, if it's like Thursday, you just kind of drop the Thursday and then come back home.
Yeah, I just have to really, it's going to be a week by week thing, honestly, which is how it's going to be. I think my big leverage is that I have a family house that's 30 minutes away, from Lubbock. So I don't have to have an apartment ASAP, So,
right.
So my strategy is like, Labor Day weekend we'll already have 2 weeks and then it'll be Labor Day weekend. So I feel like I would have a good grasp on how things are going to go. So those first 2 weeks, I'll probably definitely be living at that house just to see, like, I mean, Tech posted a picture of like, oh, we're cleaning the library. We can't wait to see y'all. And it's just, I just wonder how packed that library is going to be. Yeah, I have a lot of questions I need answers. But yeah, we'll see what these other 2 classes I have going to announce. It's just going to, man, if I have one class that's supposed to be face-to-face, I'll be like, man, it's going to be a long commute. But yeah, it would be nice. But that's how it is. It's life. Let's see. You got any things? What do you think about the new Drake music?
I haven't got to it yet.
And I will say, what?
I'll listen to it though. You ain't got to worry.
I was ready to get Drake out of my top 5. I'm tired. I want to move on from Drake and J. Cole and Kendrick. Like, I want the new generation, the Roddy Riches, babies. And so yeah, Drake was out of my top 5 for a couple months here. And these 2 songs, like, Drake is so good at adapting to the times. Like, he's kind of moving on from his feelings type of music, which is good. I mean, rap is kind of getting away from that a little bit. So, and these are, when I saw DJ Khaled was going to be involved, I was like, oh no. It's going to be like some random annoying, like, anthems. But it almost seemed like, DJ Khaled is annoying, right? Like, DJ Khaled, and like he'll say that throughout the music. All he does is just say something at the beginning, and then he just lets Drake do the whole verse. whole song. So they're almost just like Drake songs. So I thought that was good. Yeah, so Drake's album probably next month. Yeah, I'm kind of thoroughly impressed. But we'll see. Have you ever, the last thing, have you ever bought merch from a artist or anything, like a T-shirt from a musician, or
I went to Drake versus Lil Wayne my senior year of high school, and I bought a shirt.
how about the last like 4 years or anything? Nothing really. Like, yeah, merch. Okay. So like, I thought it was interesting in the Billboard. What is it? They, those Billboard rankings, like top 10 albums. They changed a interesting rule where, like, in the streaming era, the past 4 years or so, artists would, if you bought a shirt from someone, you would get a free album download. So that was the equivalent with Billboard of buying a $10 album off iTunes just because you bought that $10 shirt. So yeah, it's really confusing. Like it would be included, the merch would be included with album sales. And that's how like people like 6ix9ine and Travis Scott have been kind of like tricking the system a little bit. Yeah, so it's been kind of interesting. Billboard eliminated that rule. So I thought that was kind of different. Do you remember at all that Travis Scott and Nicki Minaj beef a couple years ago? I don't know, about album sales.
Briefly, yes.
The Astroworld situation where Astroworld was number 1 week, and then Nicki Minaj released her album that next week, but it debuted at number 2 because Travis Scott released some merch that next week to boost album sales. So yeah, Travis was definitely playing the game, and Nicki felt away, and so all that's eliminated. So I thought that was different. All right, I think that's all I have. You got anything else?
No, that's all I got.
All right. You got any songs of the week? Shoutouts.
I've been listening to it like almost every day on my way to work this week. Know My Rights.
Wow. Black featuring Lil Baby.
Yeah.
Right? Oh yeah. Oh, now you like Black. Uh-huh.
Nah, his name's still 6ix9ine. It's nice.
Nah.
It's
Yeah. Black's the real deal. Let's see. I don't want to. Let's see. I'm not gonna say a Drake song. That's basic. Have you heard that Saweetie girl?
Who?
Her name is Saweetie. She's Quavo's girl.
Yeah, Sweetie. Yeah.
I've kind of known about her the last couple of years, but her songs are really funny just because it's all about like what is it? It's girl anthems where like, yeah, the girl get rich, like get your money, but like look for a man or something that's also on his rich lifestyle, like type of thing. And I was like, you know what? If I had a daughter, I'd be like, yo, listen to Saweetie. Like, like, I don't know. It's just kind of like, it's good. It's good. So yeah, it's just it's a unique perspective. I'm not gonna shout out that song, but I thought that was like, she's kind of interesting to me right now. I'm gonna say Baby Keem, Mosh Pit. He's the next Kendrick Lamar. But yeah, Baby Keem, Mosh Pit. Shoutouts or anything? Shout out to the Dallas Mavericks. Run. We'll beat the Lakers. Don't worry.
All right, this is how you know the podcast. You
Have you seen
started boring.
LeBron matchups? Those are
Have I seen what?
Luka LeBron matchups. Luka is not scared of LeBron.
Yeah, come playoff time, he will.
He won't. All right. So we'll see. Go ahead.
Y'all losing first round to the Clippers.
We're not. We'll beat the Clippers, and then we'll beat who's next? We'll beat who's next, and then we'll beat the Clippers and the Lakers.
So you're gonna beat
and
the
then
Clippers. You're gonna beat the Clippers. I think the Nuggets, and then the Lakers.
Yes. Clippers, Nuggets, Lakers, Bucks.
Yeah. Okay. This ain't 2011, dog.
There's no home court advantage. We got this. We're good.
Who's the second best player behind Luka? Tim Hardaway Jr.
Porzingis.
We ain't worried.
Yeah, you forgot about Porzingis. That's right. Yeah.
Just because he this is his feel out year. He ain't back to his New York level yet.
He'll be back. And Luke, this is like low key. Luka has matured. Like 4 months to Luka is different than to anybody else. Just because he's so young and he's like maturing extremely fast. So this is almost like low key his third year. You know what I mean? So
the playoffs are different. We'll see how you play.
We'll see. But you got any other last minute shout outs? Shout out to Houston.
Shout out Dallas. Shout out Penske.
All right. Well, that's about it. All right. Well, have a good week.
You too, man. See you.